Podcast Network Asia.
You are listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast, where we feature timely and relevant discussions on the Philippine stock market and the economy in the hope of providing you investing and trading guidance. Here's your host.
What if the future of investing isn't decided by humans alone? Artificial intelligence is no longer science fiction. It's shaping industries, creating new opportunities, and redefining how we live and work. For investors, understanding how to tap in this revolution is crucial. Welcome to the Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast. I'm Monneth Pangatungan, Market Educator and Business Development Officer for Visayas at First Metro Securities. Our mission is to equip clients and the public with essential investment knowledge, empowering you to make informed financial decisions. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most transformative technologies of our generation, artificial intelligence. And to help us explore how it's changing the investment landscape, I am thrilled to be joined by Fatima Timmy de Cruz, Channel Development Officer of ATRAM. Welcome, Timmy.
Thank you, Monneth. It's great to be here and discuss such an exciting topic.
Timmy, let's start with the big picture. When we talk about AI, what does the current landscape look like for investors and where are the major shifts happening?
That's a fantastic question, Monneth. So the AI landscape is incredibly dynamic and actually still young. We're seeing AI move beyond just academic research and into practical everyday applications across virtually every sector.
So it's not just about generative AI like ChatGPT.
Exactly. While generative AI has certainly captured headlines, AI's impact is much broader. We're looking at one, computing power and infrastructure. That's the foundational layer. So companies producing advanced semiconductors, cloud computing services, and data centers are absolutely critical. Think about the sheer processing power needed to train and run AI models. This is where a lot of the initial investment is happening. And then we have software and applications. Going beyond ChatGPT and Gemini, this is where AI transforms industries, from AI-powered cybersecurity, drug discovery in pharmaceuticals, being able to fast-track cancer research, to helping manufacturers with predictive maintenance, and for e-commerce, as we're all familiar with, we get personalized recommendations. AI is embedded everywhere. So companies developing and using these specialized AI solutions are seeing massive growth. Third, automation and robotics. AI is powering the next generation of industrial and service robotics, making processes more efficient and precise. This extends from factory floors to precision surgery in hospitals. Fourth, and definitely not the least, data and analytics. AI thrives on data. We know that companies that can effectively collect, process, and derive insights from vast datasets are getting themselves an advantage.
It sounds like a complex ecosystem, not just a single industry.
Precisely. So it's a vast, interconnected web of innovation, and that's what makes it so compelling for long-term growth.
That gives us a great overview of the opportunity. Now, ATRAM has recently launched a new fund aimed at capturing this potential. Could you tell us about the key features of this new ATRAM fund and what makes it unique in navigating this complex AI landscape?
Absolutely, Monneth. So our new ATRAM Global Artificial Intelligence Feeder Fund is a peso-denominated equity fund focused on AI innovation. The minimum to invest is just 1,000 pesos, and it is designed to give Filipino investors like you and I direct access to the global leaders that are taking advantage of the AI revolution.
Feeder fund. Can you elaborate on that for our listeners?
Certainly. So as a feeder fund, it invests primarily into a carefully selected target fund, a globally recognized fund managed by leading experts with a proven track record in both technology and AI investing. What this means is that our local investors benefit from their deep research, global reach, and specialized expertise.
So ATRAM isn't picking individual AI stocks directly, right?
Correct. We do not pick AI stocks directly. What we do is we leverage the expertise of a specialized global fund manager. This approach offers several key advantages for our investors. I'll break it down into five. One, global diversification. The fund isn't limited to a single country or region. It invests across the US, Europe, Asia, and beyond, providing broad global exposure, which also lowers your concentration risk. Second, you get expert selection. The underlying fund manager has dedicated teams of analysts and portfolio managers whose sole job is to identify the most promising AI companies, those with strong intellectual property, significant AI engagement, solid financials, and strong growth potential. True to its name, the fund actually uses its own custom AI screening tool to find companies around the world. For example, it's able to go through research written in different languages that perhaps, an English-speaking fund manager may not have access to. This is an example of the kind of due diligence that would be difficult for individual investors like replicate. Third, you get the benefit of risk management. By investing in a diversified portfolio of AI-related companies, the fund aims to mitigate the risks associated with investing in individual, often volatile, tech stocks. Remember, this is an aggressive fund, so it's great to not put all your eggs in one basket. Next, you get exposure in AI beyond the tech sector. The fund invests not only in the developers and producers of AI, but also in the companies that apply and enable these innovations. And they may not necessarily be in the tech sector. This is something that differentiates it from traditional tech funds in the market. Fifth is accessibility. For Filipino investors, this fund makes global AI investing much, much more accessible, often with lower minimums. In this case, it's just 1,000 pesos. And it's easier in terms of execution than trying to invest directly in foreign markets or individual stocks. We handle the complexities of international investing for them.
Well, that's a compelling blend of global reach and expert management. What kind of companies would typically be in the underlying portfolio?
Think of companies involved in AI infrastructure like semiconductors, cloud computing, and then you have the service providers on the software side. And third, you have companies that heavily embed AI in their business models. So it is possible to see utility companies like energy providers, not just your typical tech companies. The target fund aims for a broader exposure to the entire AI value chain. So that's from foundational technology to advanced applications.
So, beyond the excitement, why should an average investor consider allocating part of their portfolio to an AI fund like ATRAM's? And what's the compelling why now?
The why now is crucial, Monneth. One, you have long-term growth potential. AI is still in its early to mid stages of widespread adoption. We're still learning how data centers can be more efficient. Current large language models have a lot of room for better accuracy, and visual outputs when it comes to AI can still be refined. We're looking at a multi-decade growth trajectory here. Investing in AI now is akin to investing in the internet revolution in its early days. The potential for wealth creation is significant. As of October 13, if I can just share, the historical ROI or return of the fund since we launched it on First Metro Sec last June 13 is 14.97%. Of course, standard disclosure, past performance is not a guarantee of future results, but 14.97% is very impressive in just 4 months. Next, we're looking at productivity gains. AI isn't just creating new products, it's making existing industries incredibly more efficient. Companies leveraging AI will likely see improved margins, faster innovation cycles, and increased competitiveness. If I could share, Monneth, according to a global survey by McKinsey, companies with at least $500 million in annual revenue are changing more quickly than smaller organizations. And I expect smaller companies to follow in the coming years. As investors, we want to be part of that efficiency gain as early as now. Another point I wanted to share is AI as a disruptive force. It's something that will create new market leaders and reshape existing ones. According to a recent report by the Boston Consulting Group, only 5% of global firms are seeing returns from applying AI, which means there's a lot more room for AI to grow. Industries like software and fintech are getting it right nowadays. Whereas, you look at fashion and real estate, they're still figuring out the best way to take advantage. An AI-focused fund like this one aims to identify and invest in these future leaders rather than those that are being left behind. Another point, and I think this will be my last for this question, is diversification from traditional assets. While AI stocks can be part of a broader technology allocation, a dedicated high-conviction AI fund offers a focused way to diversify beyond traditional sectors and capture growth from a truly transformative trend.
So it's about being on the right side of innovation.
Exactly. So it's about participating in the next wave of economic growth powered by intelligence. However, as with all investments, it's important for investors to understand their own risk tolerance and investment objectives. This is a growth-oriented fund, and while the potential is high, it's not without its risks.
That's a fantastic insight to me. So it's clear that AI is not just a hype, but a fundamental shift. And ATRAM's new fund offers a compelling way for investors to be part of that story. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, Monneth. Thanks for having me.
But before we officially end, may I request any parting words for the listeners?
Yes, please, please, please tell your friends and family about the ATRAM Global Artificial Intelligence Feeder Fund. Don't wait until Christmas. This is the first AI fund in the country. And again, as of October 13, 2025, it's already grown 14.97% since its launch in June. You can start with just 1,000 pesos and build it up from there. If you or your loved ones don't have a First MetroSec account yet, I encourage everyone to set aside 10 minutes to open one right after this.
Thank you for sharing that information, Timmy. And for our listeners interested in exploring this further, you may check your First MetroSec account via website and click Funds. Look for ATRAM Global Artificial Intelligence Feeder Fund under FundSmart. That's it for today's episode. We are glad you could join us today, and we hope you picked up valuable ideas for your investing journey. Don't forget to tune in again for more market updates and learning sessions. This has been the Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast brought to you by First Metro Securities, where we put your future first.
Thanks for listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast. Don't forget to follow us to get first dibs on our new episodes. For more up-to-date market news and info, exclusive content, and the opportunity to connect with your fellow Filipino investors and traders, join facebook.com/groups/FirstMetroSec and be part of the First MetroSec family.
First MetroSec is providing this podcast as a general market commentary. Reference to any specific security, product, or entity do not constitute as an offer or a solicitation of an offer to buy or sell any financial instruments or to participate in any particular trading strategy. The statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed by the hosts are subject to change without notice, and First MetroSec is under no obligation to update, amend, change, or correct any of the statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed. The statements, comments, views, and opinions expressed by the guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the view of First MetroSec. First MetroSec disclaims any liability arising from reliance on or reference to any information obtained in this podcast.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.